Was this a good postseason for the Los Angeles Clippers?
Yes. Yes. Because you did it without Kawhi Leonard. I think as you move forward, the Clippers have to find somebody that they can rely on who is the third. It used to be used to have two stars. If you had two stars and then you had role players, that was pretty much the magic ingredients for winning a championship. Now it's the big three. And maybe that was LeBron with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, where you had three. The Nets have three. I think the Nets realized, hey, KD and Kawhi or Kyrie, we got to get another person. Let's get Harden in here. The Lakers, I think they thought they had a third in Dennis Schroeder, but that wasn't the case. You have LeBron and AD, and that might be enough that you don't need a third. But for these other teams, it feels like you need a third star or potential star. Phoenix Suns have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. Now, they may not be stars in your world, your galaxy, but they have the capability to be great players. And I think that that's the one thing, if I look at the Clippers, as you move into next year, first of all, Kawhi Leonard's availability, his health long term. Paul George, I like what I saw with Paul George. I don't like him being so sensitive. Just play. You play hard, and it doesn't matter what the critics say. Don't worry about them. He has to take some ownership here. You called yourself Playoff P. We didn't. You were a wonderful story. You came back from breaking your leg. You were great in Indiana. You were MVP candidate in Oklahoma City. You created this, and then the media swallows it up, and then they spit it right back at you. Here's Paul George last night talking about how he has to deal with the negative narrative.
The narrative of me not being a postseason player or all of that I never understood it. But, it's not much. I've been the same person. I've dealt with stuff, as we all do. Makes me no difference than the next man. But, it is what it is. I came up short again. I'm proud of what we did as a team. I wasn't out to prove nothing to nobody.
All right, I apologize. The sound has not been good in the NBA postseason. It just hasn't. I don't know what you're doing, but that's horrible.
It sounds like there's those big industrial fans near the mics.
That's embarrassing. Clean that up. Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT analyst, did comment on Paul George's comments.
Everybody's gotten criticized. This false narrative. I'm hearing these jackasses on television talking about somebody gets scrutinized more than other people. Give me a freaking break. I got drafted with Michael Jordan. I remember when he was going up, when he put that 63 on the Celtics. Yeah, he's a great individual player, but he hasn't won the championship. They've always said that about me. Paul George is a terrific player, but that goes with being a terrific player. And these other guys talk about he gets treated unfairly. Give me a freaking break.
All right. Don't have to read between the lines with Charles there. And he's right. You can't invite this by giving yourself a nickname like Playoff P. That's basketball's version of Mr. October. And then all of a sudden say, hey, stop it, guys. We expect Paul George to be great. There's certain time, like Chris Paul, I expect him to be great. Last night, he was greater than great. That's when you compliment somebody. But Paul George having, a great game a couple of games ago, you're supposed to have great games. Imagine if you're complimenting Jordan for every great game he had. Or Bird or Magic, or go down the list of Hall of Famers. That's why you're a Hall of Famer. Paul George has to realize, hey, you're supposed to be great. So just go out there and be great. Then you don't have to worry about the critics. And you know what stops everything? Winning. Yes, Paul.
Anyone giving any blowback to Clayton Kershaw anymore? Clayton Kershaw's got a title, was 2-0 in the World Series. It sweeps everything away. Chris Paul is sweeping away a career of coming up shorts. If he wins 4 more games, Chris Paul has got the lifetime hall pass.
Yeah, and this is, we've seen players late in their career benefit Peyton Manning benefited. He wasn't anywhere near the Hall of Fame quarterback, but he got another ring in Denver. Clayton Kershaw, wonderful regular season pitcher. You win a World Series, now all of a sudden we moved on. Now you move on to some other pitcher, some other player. Chris Paul, now we move on. You know, he's really the guy who had career disappointments and injuries, and, he does the cute State Farm commercials. Like, that's what he's known for. Now he's 4 wins away from changing all of that. And he did it in wonderful fashion last night. It's like when you repaint a house. You don't remember what it looked like. You're like, man, that fresh coat of paint, that house looks awesome. Clayton Kershaw got a fresh coat of paint. Chris Paul got a fresh coat of paint. And so did Peyton Manning. John Elway at the end of his career, fresh coat of paint. That's what you're hoping for. And Paul George, pick up a paintbrush, all right? Get started. Stop complaining. And nobody wants to hear it. But I think that the Clippers and Paul George should be proud of what they did because they were undermanned and they held on and they made the Phoenix Suns work for it. Yeah, McLovin.
Can I make Clippers fans mad, all 7 of them?
Sure. Wow.
Careful.
Let's be realistic here. It's July 1st. Kawhi's going to have knee surgery, right? And if he hasn't had knee surgery, then what the heck has he been doing on the sideline? So the way the NBA is, the next season starts in 8 weeks. There's no way Kawhi Leonard's going to be able to be around next year. So it's going to be Paul George and this same sort of put together team.
I don't know if he needs surgery or not. I've not heard that. In fact, I heard after Game 3, hey, and this is from somebody with the Clippers, hey, don't rule out if we go to a Game 7 that Kawhi would be available. That's what I was told. And I thought, okay, I guess they're keeping, that idea, that hope, open. Whether that was true or not, that he was going to play or not, this was just one person saying that, hey, he's not out of it yet. And I said, well, all right, he's in street clothes. It didn't look promising. And I don't know if he would have been able to play. I'm guessing he wouldn't have been able to play. But back then, and maybe they wanted that narrative out there that, hey, because if you're the Phoenix Suns, that's why I kept saying you needed to play with a sense of urgency, even though you were up 3-1, even though you were up 3-2. You just don't want to toy with this where you get to a Game 7 and then Kawhi pulls a Willis Reed and it, comes out there and leads the team to the NBA Finals. These are moments here, not desperate moments, but these are great opportunities for Milwaukee, Atlanta, the Clippers, and the Suns. At the beginning of the year, if I would have said, man, Phoenix Suns, it'll be crazy to see them either against the Bucks or the Hawks in the NBA Finals. You'd been like, what year are you talking about? Yep, he's finally lost it. Dan Patrick says the Phoenix Suns are going to play in the NBA Finals against either the Hawks or Bucks. Yeah, crazy. This is a chance to win a championship. And you don't have to worry about, well, they didn't have to go through. Well, there's going to be an asterisk by this. I couldn't care less. Yeah, Paul.
And the Suns are going to get, I think, at minimum 4 days of rest. 4 or 5, maybe it could be up to like 6 days of rest before the finals.
Yeah.